Hello and welcome to another Exploration Basics video. In this little two-part series I will go over the topic of wormholes, the space where any explorer can get into pretty much right from the start if they know what they're doing and get rich pretty quick with little to no investment in ISK, however with a lot of risk as this is not a safe space. So let's jump right into it. Wormholes, known as junction space, wormhole space, or J space. There are many names for it made by the players. This is the space where everyone is out there to kill you. However, if you manage to survive and have some luck on your side, you can get out of them with hundreds of millions of ISK in profit. If you fly into a wormhole, assume your ship has already exploded and you are going through a hallucination. The hallucination ends when you get out of it alive or when your ship actually explodes. This is why the golden rule of Eve is so important. Never fly something you cannot afford to lose. So what are the wormholes? And what can we get to know about them before we even go through one? As you can see on the screen, I am next to a wormhole, and if you either left click hold and go to show info or right click and show info, you will see a little card telling you a little bit about the wormhole itself. What the information here, where the information starts, is in the second paragraph here, and all of this tells us quite a lot about what can we push through this wormhole, where it will take us, what is the status of a wormhole, if it will collapse behind us or not, and all that good stuff, and what can we push through it. So let's go over the basics of what the wormhole tells us when we approach it. First, we have the name itself. R943 over here. This tells us exactly where it takes you. Wormholes have two sides basically. One of the sides will be with a specific name, and that's the basically entrance to it. And when you are on the exit side of a wormhole, you will only and always see K162. So if you then you will need only to go through the description to more or less know where it takes you. But how do I know where this exactly takes me? The R943 name can be looked up in websites such as anoic.is, which I will now show quickly on the screen. And by going through here and looking up the name, we can see that this wormhole in the from shows up in high sec, low sec, and null sec space, and it always takes you to a class 2 wormhole. More about classes a little bit later. So you know that this wormhole will always take you to that type of space. Let's get back into the game screen though. So what else can we gather from here? Wormhole traits that you can see over here in here are the lifetime of a wormhole. This wormhole is beginning to decay and probably won't last another day. There are 3 different messages you can get over here. This one means that the wormhole has between 4 and 24 hours of lifetime. If it would have less than 4 hours, but you don't know exactly how much, you will get a message that the wormhole is nearing the end of its life, and those are so-called end-of-life wormholes. And there is also a possibility of getting a message that the wormhole has not yet begun its natural cycle of decay and should last at least a day. Then you have over 24 hours of the life of this wormhole, up to 36 hours of life. And second thing, as we mentioned over here, you can either know exactly where it takes you using the name, but if you are on the exit side of the wormhole, you might not see that. That's when you have to guess using the description. If the wormhole will take you to high, low, or null security space, you know exactly that this is a direct connection between a known space system and another known space system. And by known space systems, I mean the systems that are on the map. You are not entering wormhole space, you will just have a corridor between two different points in the map of New Eden. Then you have the junction space or wormhole space connections. And if you are going to go exploring, you will be looking for the wormhole seems to lead into unknown parts of space. This means it will take you to the class 1, 2, or 3, the easiest wormholes. And you want to go for them strictly because those wormholes spawn unguarded pirate relic and data sites. The same ones you will be encountering in known space, in HiSec, for example, if you are a New York Explorer. However, those sites will be tougher to hack, but they do have a lot more rewards. Then you have wormhole leading to dangerous unknown parts of space. This is a class 4 or class 5 wormholes. This can be good for collecting gas if you are just going in and going for a trip into a wormhole. And class 6 wormholes lead to deadly unknown parts of space. There are also special wormholes such as Thera wormhole, which is one of a kind, and other types, but we are just going through the basics and going through mostly exploration part of it. So you are going to try to go into the C1, C2, or C3 wormholes. Then we have size of the wormhole. So what ships are allowed to go into it. If it's a small wormhole, it will tell you that only smallest ships can pass through, only frigates and destroyers usually can go in. Medium, you will see the message that up to medium ships can pass through. Here we have a larger ships can pass through this wormhole. For medium, we mean cruisers and industrial ships, so haulers. With larger, you should be able to push through a battleship or a mining command ship. And the largest wormholes will get a message that very large ships can pass through, and that allows for freighters to come through. However, they will usually collapse such wormhole very fast. Next, we have stability. And this is this line. As I mentioned, each ship passing through a wormhole disrupts the stability of it. That is because if enough mass passes through, the wormhole will eventually collapse, meaning that only certain mass can come through. But you also, if you want to roll a connection, so make sure it comes somewhere else if you are inside of a wormhole, you can collapse them in order to have them respawn quicker than the time where it happens basically naturally. So if the wormhole has more than 50% of its stability left, you will see the message that the wormhole has not yet had its stability significantly disrupted by ships passing through it. Then between 50 and 10%, it will have a message that has had its stability reduced, but not to critical degree yet. And if it's less than 10%, it will tell you that it is on the verge of collapse. So that is what you can get to know when you are approaching a wormhole. Now, what can you encounter in a wormhole, and what can be found there for you as an explorer, and maybe later someone looking for other content as well. So first of all, for our exploration, we want relic and data sites. As I mentioned, in class 1, 2, and 3 wormholes, you can find relic and data sites, which are the pirate sites called local, central, crumbling, and then having a reference to a pirate faction in game. So Serpentis, Sanshak, Guristas, Blood Angels, and so on. These are safe, as in they don't have any pirates in it, or NPC pirates that would attack you, and you need to only worry about other players trying to hunt you down. Next, you will have sleeper sites called unsecured, frontier, and so on. These are always, without any exception, basically guarded by powerful enemies and happen in wormholes. You do not want to get in a T1 frigate in that and get yourself shot, because you will probably get one shot by them. If you want a full list of the names of such wormhole related relic data sites that have the sleeper NPCs in them, I will link a link to EVE University that does mention all the names of different sites that happen in each of the wormhole classes. Then you have covert research facilities. Those are data sites which are unguarded by and only for a time. When you enter and uncloak, a timer, hidden timer, will start. When it expires, pirates drop on you, and the cans will explode. If you fail a can, you will explode with the can. Those are not regular cans that you can fail twice and then they explode without any consequence for you, apart from losing your loot. They will damage your ship. So only, especially in wormholes, go for them if you know what you're doing, if you have experience and high skills, so you don't fail high-level hacking minigames. And last but not least, from the scannable signatures that we can find is the gas sites. These are important for gas huffers, people who go in the wormholes and collect the gas that is needed to produce tier 3 components for tier 3 destroyers and cruisers, basically. Also, it is being used in recent changes by CCP to capital production. So this gas can be pretty good to have. However, if you scan down a gas site and you want to go into it, first of all, swap your ship and then go into it, because whenever you enter a gas site, around the 20-minute timer starts, and when that timer finishes, sleepers will drop on you. At that moment, you have to get out so you don't get shot and blown up with the gas you have just collected. So do not trigger the sites unless you really want to go in there and you are already in a gas huffing ship. Of course, apart from caustic signatures, you can find some anomalies, which is combat sites, which are tougher than the stuff that you can encounter in HiSec. However, it's a mix of PvP and PvE, because you mostly will be fighting PvE. However, since wormholes are a special kind of space and local chat does not work there unless you speak up, you will not know if someone is watching you and waiting to gank you until they do. And lastly, there are also ore sites which have some specific ores for wormholes that you can try to ninja mine. However, those ore sites also have the same mechanic as gas sites. Those will drop sleepers on you. And just going back to the gas sites for a second, because I forgot about one thing. The only exception to the gas sites that you will encounter is ordinary perimeter reservoir. That doesn't have spawning sleepers for you. That site always starts with 4 or 6 turrets. I don't remember right now the number. Sorry for that. But there are turrets that will snipe you. So if you want to go and get them, you would have to first go and clear the turrets before you get into that. That will be it for this part of the wormhole guide. In the next part, I will talk over some basic safety tips and how to set up your first entrance into the wormhole. So stay tuned for that. And for now, I thank you for watching.